Hey guys, so it's me, Toya. If many of you are watching for the first time, welcome to my channel. So I do all types of content. A lot of it caters around family content. I do have 2 daughters and a husband that are constantly on my videos. And as you can see, I am a security officer and I chit chat about that occasionally as well. So guys, I know it's been a while since I have came out with a video. And I just wanted to let you guys know I am good. If anyone was wondering, I'm fine, I'm okay. I've just been very busy lately. I mentioned in my last video that I had some upcoming news. I didn't think it would take this long, but first, before we get into this video, let's talk about my new phone. Like, hunty, like the camera on this thing is good. The video is good on this phone. I mean, like, you don't realize like how poor your video or your camera is until you get a new device and you're like, wow, like, is my skin that clear? But moving along, yeah, so guys, I am buying a house. That's what has been like taking me away from YouTube. It has been a stressful situation because I'm not doing this all on my own. I am getting a grant for $150,000. Yes, I said $150,000, a grant. For those of you that don't know the definition of a grant, you don't pay it back. And then I'm also getting funding from a program called HPAC. They're giving me $69,000. And I do pay that back, but I don't pay it back until 5 years from now. And it also comes with no interest for first-time home buyers in DC. And then I'm also getting a tax exemption, if I'm saying it correctly. Bottom line is I'm not paying taxes for 5 years as well. Throughout this whole, and I'm doing all this on poor credit. So, so throughout this whole process, it's been very stressful because when you're doing anything where you're getting or receiving help, many of you that get assistance knows that, you know, they want to make sure that the help is genuine. They want to make sure that they're helping the right person. They want to make sure that everything you put in is correct, that you're being honest. So they have been digging in my crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have been, I mean, paperwork after paperwork, like, and then everything is done virtually too, because the places where I'm getting this assistance, the office is not literally open. So, and I don't have a computer. So I've been doing all this, like, using friends, different friends of mine, their computer, or I use my work computer sometimes if I'm able to, because we have kind of rules about that. So, you know, I always ask my manager if I could use his computer. And then also, I'll use my phone. So I've had to download like a lot of apps to transform documents into PDFs. So what I'll do is take a picture of something and then transform it to a PDF and then send it through my phone. It has been one process that I never want to go through again. And then also, there's been some other things going on too. So many of you know also I'm very religious. That's not the right term for it. I take that back. I'm very into my faith, should I say. And I am a Jehovah's Witness. So I also decided to auxiliary pioneer, which I know many of you don't know what that means, but it's basically when you've decided to dedicate a lot of time, pretty much full-time ministry. So you've decided to basically, it's another form of a career. You know, you don't get paid for it financially, but you get paid for it through other forms. And basically, I have dedicated a lot of my time to basically teach people about the Bible and etc. So my schedule has been packed. And then also with elections going on, those of you that know I do security, my job has been requesting me to do a lot of overtime. Well, it's not technically overtime. The way we have things set up It's just, I've been asked to stay a little later or come a little earlier, or come on days I'm supposed to be off, but it's not overtime because right now during the pandemic, my job is not giving overtime. That's a whole nother story. So for another day. So it has been very busy. Then not to mention my husband's grandmother has been with us for about a week, which we've been taking care of her as well. And my mom has a surgery coming up. My life has been everywhere right now. But back to what I was saying, I am getting a house. So I want to talk more about that. So sorry about that. But before I go any further, how have you guys been? I have a lot of friends on YouTube, sisters, brothers, cousins, whatever you want to call it, that I have been in contact with for years. And I've made like real lasting relationships with them. So, you know, those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for a long time, and I've been subscribed to yours as well, true supporters. How you guys doing? Like, is there any interesting news going on in your life? Leave me a comment. So back to what I was saying is the first obstacle that we had, because we started this process a whole year ago. Many of you know I was looking for a house, but I settled for an apartment, which I'm not complaining about because the complex I live in right now is a very nice complex. So if you're looking to rent, definitely my complex is a very nice, clean, up-to-date complex. I have a washer and dryer in my unit, 2-bedroom, beautiful view. I have a large window in my living room, and it has a gorgeous view, beautiful kitchen, nice appliances. I have no complaint, but I've been wanting to own for a very long time for many reasons. My number one reason being is I have a very close connection with my children. Preferably, I always admired other cultures that stay together. You know, one thing about the Black community is most people I know, once the kids get to a certain age, they ready to kick them out. But I kind of admire other communities that, or other cultures that their children, you know, stay with them for years, and they just help each other out. And that's my plan. I don't want at a certain age, because of space or, you know, issues of that nature, I don't want my children to have to move out. Now, it's not saying that I'm going to make my kids stay, but I want them to have a space to always be able to stay. God forbid, if for some reason they moved out and something happened where they needed a place to stay, I want to provide that for them. And when it comes to renting, it's like very shaky. I can't guarantee that I can provide that, because it's like when you're renting at any point in time, it's not permanent. If my complex right now said, hey, for some reason, we're going to do some renovations and we need all of you to leave, all they have to do is give a 30-day notice and I have to be out. But with a house, I always have stability for my children as they grow older. So that's one of my main reasons that I want ownership. With that being said, the first obstacle when we tried this a year ago was our credit. So we had to work on that. That took at least 6 months, maybe a little longer. It wasn't that we had bad credit per se. It was more we didn't have credit. So for me, I had some collection fees, but they were old collection fees. And some of them I didn't even agree with. So long story short, I had to get some things off my credit first, which I did. And then I had to build up credit, which me and my husband did. My husband even went as far as to get things added on his credit. If you guys don't know, you can get things such as your rental history, your utility bills, anything that you pay with your debit card on a regular basis. You can get added to your credit if you don't have credit. See, me and my husband, we don't have credit cards. We don't have any. We don't own a credit card. So this was very helpful to get our scores a little higher. The next obstacle was, because with the credit, we needed a better credit score, because to get a loan, I don't know, each place varies. In DC, you at least need a 620. at least for a mortgage loan. Then the next obstacle was getting the assistance for the down payment and closing costs. Me and my husband we do not make enough to put down a large sum amount on a down payment. When we're talking about a large sum amount, we're getting assistance to put down $65,000 for a down payment. We could not do that on our own. Not to mention, like I said, closing, not to mention getting inspections. Like, I'm paying for an inspection that's coming up before I move into my unit, and the inspection itself is close to $500. So me and my husband knew that if we weren't going to get assistance, we couldn't do this. So we had to go through the process of getting assistance. That was the next obstacle. The next obstacle was during the pandemic, we didn't have a computer. So it was always an issue when we were submitting our paperwork and our documentation that it was, at one point in time, our application kept submitting to DC office upside down. Weird, right? But it took me like 3 days to get it to submit correctly. There was certain documentation they required that I didn't have. And it's like, it's not easy to just go to places and ask for old documentation when everything's closed during a pandemic. So that was another obstacle. Then after we did all that, it was like time, we had our second trust. Our second trust was going to help us with the down payment. Altogether, at this point in the process, we had at least $69,000. Then the next obstacle was getting the actual mortgage loan. I had to go through a few banks, but prayerfully, thankfully, I was able to find a mortgage, a place called Caliber Mortgage Loans. And they took a chance on me and my husband with our credit. Mind you, our credit is still not the bomb. It's mediocre. And even with mediocre credit, trust me, the banks that I've been to, they want good credit. And I'm just like, I thought a 6 at the time when we were trying to get a mortgage loan, I had roughly the credit score of a 7 something. Mid-7, which was pretty good. My husband had the credit score of a mid-6, and they still was saying that was not a good credit score. But like I said, Caliber bank loans, they helped us. Not bank loans, mortgage loan. They helped us. They approved us. Once we got our approval and went past that obstacle, the next obstacle was finding a house. That the thing is, we got approved for $450. Which is, you can find something in DC for $450, something nice. But the issue is, how much are you willing to pay on a mortgage deal? So, although we found something for $450, we didn't want to spend the entire loan because that would have made our mortgage bill be about $2,000 a month. And that was undoable for us. That doesn't include utilities. So, or other expenses. So that we decided that what we could afford, it had to be somewhere around the $350-ish for our mortgage bill to be a good $16 a month. We could do that. That was another obstacle, finding a home in DC that doesn't have major issues for around the price of $350. DC is very expensive. So at that price, people have homes, but they want you to buy as is. And as is not how I'm able to purchase, because with the funding I received, one of the qualifications too is that I have to find a home that is in good condition. And even if that wasn't a qualification, I just wasn't trying to get a home that was in bad condition. So that was another obstacle. Well, thanks to my wonderful real estate agent, Uniqua Powell, she was able to find us a home that originally the price was $450. But this home was through a program called Manna, who builds for low to moderate income. So they had a grant system that they would, if you qualify, you could get a grant for $150,000, which would take that price to that $450 house down to $350. That worked perfect. And the best part about it is, it was a brand new spanking house. Everything is new in it. No one has lived here before. It used to be just land. They just built it. So of course we were like, this is a winner. Altogether, we viewed 4 homes. When we saw this home, this was our home. It spoke to us. Like, we were like, thank you, Jehovah. This was our home. So now we've been approved. Everything has went through fine. The seller, which is Manna, definitely wants to sell to us. He has taken it off the market. Right now it is under contract, and it's a terminology for it where it's under contract, and it's off the market. So it's our home. Now the next obstacle is, out of all the situation, we have a closing date coming up. Just recently, my husband's job has said that he will be furloughed. Anyone who has gotten a mortgage loan knows that this is not what you want to hear before closing. Furlough basically means that my husband still has a job, but because of the pandemic, his job is currently closed. With his job being currently closed, they are no longer paying him temporarily. So he has to file for unemployment in the meantime. But once the job reopens, he's guaranteed his job back. That's what furlough means. But banks don't want to hear that. They don't want to even basically have the word unemployment when they're approving someone a mortgage loan. So now we're waiting to see when his job will have him furloughed. If he does not get furloughed before closing, we're fine. All they care about is during closing, they want him to be still receiving a check from his job. The furlough has not started yet. It is scheduled to start sometime in the upcoming months. With that being said, if we can close before then, we're fine. This has been stressing me out, guys, because I'm just like, I went through all this work. This has been a year process. Prayerfully, if this is a blessing, which I feel this home is, then nothing can stop it. And prayerfully, everything will still work out the way it's meant to work out. So I will keep you guys posted. I just really wanted to do a video because I have really missed you guys. I really appreciate you who have stuck there with me, have not unsubscribed. I will get back on a regular routine. I know I've missed some of you guys' videos as well, but I will catch up. Just please understand that I am super busy and super stressed right now, and keep me in your prayers. So, all right, ladies, gents, whoever, stay strong.